Coming back at you, Will of SNES. Pop Quiz Josh, Season 4, Episode 10. What?
50.
Okay, 50th total episode. This week, we drew a game that I can tell you I never played on the Super Nintendo, but I'm very... It's known. It's known game.
I played them on PC.
We got Sid Meier's Civilization. So, there's that. Do you want me to read the back of the box for you, Josh?
Jump into it.
Sid Meier's Civilization. What would you do if you were emperor? With Sid Meier's Civilization, you are the emperor. You control your own personal civilization and build it any way you want. Don't like schools? Don't build any. Think the Romans were crude? Wipe them out. And when your advisors tell you what to do, you tell them where to go. Attack your enemies like a ruthless warlord, and if they're really a pain, nuke them. You've got the power to take on the greatest leaders in history. Play the game like you own the world, because you do, in Sid Meier's Civilization. Anything's possible. It's a pretty strong back of the box.
Very strong back of the box.
So, yeah, I mean, that all sounds like target audience. That's a game that I would probably want to rent as a child or as a young adult. A little bit of background on it. It's Sid Meier's. I don't know what civilization they're on now.
6.
I was going to say, I know 5 was big and 4.
5 was fantastic. 6, they done something new, and a lot of people didn't like it.
Well, I do know growing up, too, I think I was probably in high school, maybe a freshman or sophomore, when everybody was talking about CivNet and all that. There was a go through of StarCraft was like the first game, and then it went to Warcraft, which isn't like the Warcraft it is now. And then you started getting some of these sim games come out, and man, Civilization was a big one because you could play it online on a PC. But kind of ironic, Josh, this is the second game in a row. Here's a tie-in that is it was published in North America by Microprose, and it's the second North American release from Koei or whatever. And we did Aerobiz Supersonic. Yep. They did that one, Microprose. So we got 2 sim games back to back from the same companies.
Yep.
Considerably different.
A lot of different.
Produced by Sid Meier.
Names.
I would feel hard pressed to say that people don't know who Sid Meier is. I mean, I ain't gonna say he invented this genre of game, but he's probably damn well the most
he's the most
experienced,
successful.
Successful. He's like the Michael Jordan or LeBron of sim games. It seems like, because he's got them all.
Not the actual Sims game that comes out from Sweden or wherever,
EA or whatever. Yeah,
actual simulation.
And one of the things that's probably pretty clever by Sid Meier is pretty much all his games are like Sid Meier's Civilization, Sid Meier's Pirates, Sid Meier's Golf,
Sid Meier's Tycoon.
Yeah, like
he has his name in them.
God dang it, Railroad Tycoon.
Yep.
So
I couldn't remember if it was Railroad or just Tycoon.
He probably did that too. I mean, he's the go-to. I mean, if you see Sid Meier, you kind of, it works both ways. If you don't like sim games and you don't like a Sid Meier game, you're probably not going to like any of the games that has his name wrote all over it.
100%.
But if you do, you kind of know what you're getting. So it's produced by Sid Meier, designed by Sid Meier and Bruce Shelley, and composed by Jeff Bridges. So
not the actor.
No, I said Jeff Bridges. It's Jeff Briggs. I'm sorry.
I was about to say that if the actor directed this, and that would have been awesome.
So, pretty core group right there that stuck together. This thing was released. I would have never, if you would have asked me if Civilization was released on Super Nintendo, I would have said undoubtedly put my money on no. I didn't know this game existed on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I didn't either.
This thing was released on crazy amount of systems, Josh. Are you ready to hear?
Oh, I bet you it was.
MS-DOS. That's probably... I don't know that I even played this game then, but that would be the go-to.
I was about to say, that would have been a given.
the Amiga, PC 98,
Yep.
Atari ST, Windows, Macintosh, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn. So,
Okay, was not expecting the Atari
yeah.
or the PlayStation. Honestly, that's a little late.
I've not looked it up, but I think the PlayStation one's kind of pricey.
Mm-hmm.
But Sega Saturn, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I get the MS-DOS, the Windows, Macintosh, but I was kind of surprised at how many consoles. Because I would have said that, most of these sim games, other than, like, if you say, hey, a sim game that's on Super Nintendo going forward, I'd say SimCity. And that's it. I would have never guessed Civilization.
Yeah. See, like I said, the one that caught me off guard, like I said, the Atari, because to me, I don't think the Atari had as much processing power as the Super Nintendo. And then I know the PlayStation came in late. Like, I think the PlayStation didn't drop until, 97, 98?
Don't quote me on it. Let me look. 'Cause I think I was able to drive. I think I was 16. So while I'm looking this up, I would say that this would have been 97.
97? And then I definitely didn't expect the Sega Saturn.
Well, it says the release date. Oh, that September 1995. So I was way off.
Oh, wow.
So one thing that kind of is surprising is that Civilization is on the actual Super Nintendo. How close could we have been to getting other games on there, like sim games? Like, because I mean, Civilization probably a little bit more primitive than like the not Minecraft, like Warcraft. Could you imagine having like Warcraft on a Super Nintendo? And I think it would maybe even be bigger than it is now. StarCraft actually had a Nintendo 64 release, so
it tried.
I just can't believe that. They had a release on the Super Nintendo for this. I would have bet.
I think they just done a re-release of StarCraft a couple of years ago. I think it blew up again.
So this game was 1991, turn-based strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar, I guess, in the style when you say turn-based as to what Aerobiz Supersonic was.
Yeah, it was
like everybody. Yeah. So
turn-based management game.
There was a couple of games that Sid Meier and the team had worked on before they had brought this game to fruition. Two of these games I've played, one I haven't. The first game I think that they really got in on is maybe one of the most cheap, and I would say Top Gun may be more hated. It's neck and neck. A lot of people will say this is probably the worst game for the Nintendo, but I think they sold a ton of units because you find it everywhere. I had it growing up. As a kid, I didn't think it was that bad. I've not played it in 30 years, but Silent Service on Nintendo was one of the games. And man, that game gets roasted, and it probably is garbage. I remember it not being that great, but we didn't have nothing else, so we just played it. It's a submarine game.
Oh, okay.
He released Sid Meier's Pirates, which I played the hell out of.
Pirates was fun.
I've probably got that up here somewhere. I've got a small PC collection going that I think one day I'm going to go back to and play that I never will because I don't even have a PC to play it on. But Sid Meier's Pirates is one of those. I bought that at Walmart for $19.99, and at that time you buy a PC game and you didn't know if your computer would be powerful enough to run it, and that one did, and I played the hell out of it. And it was kind of... It was a sim game, but you could actually, it's kind of more like sim golf. Like you could control your boat a little bit and all that. But it was clever. And then they had Railroad Tycoon. Never played Railroad Tycoon.
I didn't do Railroad Tycoon.
So
I've done all Civ games, and I've done Pirates.
So Civ came after those. I definitely think that Pirates was probably the biggest game at that time until then. I don't know. I think a lot of people enjoyed Railroad Tycoon. I've never played that one. I guess that's all I really have for the build up of the background of it. But what is Civilization? I've got this because I think you will be able to put more insight into this than me. When it comes down to the plot, I've just got it simply dumbed down to its barest bones as you're running your own human civilization. You can make alliances or you can have war. And that, to me, is pretty much what the game is. You can elaborate
Pretty
on this.
much. Now, okay, so early games, like in this one, the early games, your quest with the quest from a deity to unite the world in any way you want. Later on, they take away the deity, and it's just, hey, we want one world order. So you can either achieve that through war, diplomat, religion, and later on they add technology to it as well.
Okay.
And also with that said, is whenever they start adding those more areas, you get different, like in this one here, you could choose, like, do you want to be North America, Rome, whatever.
Right. And I'm not a big Civ player. I think I've played some of the later ones, and I never really got into them. It's not my favorite sim type game. So when I come into the first one here, that I know I've never played the first one, like, physically.
Yeah.
I don't even think I played it on PC. So it was kind of clever when I came in and it said, hey, you got, like, say you want to be the Roman Empire, the Egyptians, and that part was kind of
neat. You got to choose it, but that on this one they just gave you them. Later on, you chose, and they had certain buffs and debuffs. Like I know on Civ 5, one of the favorite people that I used on there was the Aztecs or Incas. It was one of them too, because at the very beginning there's a lot of bandit attacks, and with them, every time you win a battle, you get +5 to religion. Me and my cousin played that game online together. And he chose Japan, which gave you the Bushido, which means no matter how weak your military force is, they would still attack as if they were at full strength.
Okay.
I ended up winning our match due to religion, because every time he went to war with me, or he got me to go to war with him against somebody else, or I went to war with somebody, or I helped somebody else, no matter who I killed, I kept adding religion. So it got to a point to where the world religion was mine, and I won. So
you were the C-3PO.
Pretty much.
So, and everybody was the Ewoks,
yeah,
right?
Pretty much. So, but America, in the later ones, you got to be George Washington. You had a +3 to Navy.
I do remember seeing the cover of maybe Civ 3 that had a photo of Washington, I think, on it.
Yeah.
I think it was Civ 3.
And I think that's whenever they started adding the little buffs. Like, George Washington got a +3 to Navy. If you chose pretty much like Attila the Hun, you immediately got the access to archers, which was huge if you were going on the war route. Romans, you immediately got access to aqueducts, granaries, and a bunch of other stuff to help population growth.
That part kind of reminds me of, playing like the board game Risk.
Risk.
You're going to have people that's more advanced on the startup, like Australia, where you get more armies, but if you're monopolizing Asia, the long play is way better. So it's kind of, whatever strategy you have, and that's one thing that's pretty clever about it. But
it's very clever. And like I said, the later games, is I played them all, especially whenever they started introducing the buffs and debuffs. And my goal was, and I wish there was a trophy for this, a whole trophy system. It's because I beat Civ 5 on all 5 challenges on the hardest difficulty. So I've done one run where it was diplomatic, one where I ruled it under as an empire. The other one was technology. The other one was fate. And then the last one was just peace.
So essentially, I guess to get a little bit more back to the plot, is regardless of which of the civilizations you choose, you're starting at the most primitive, bare bones level. And, so it makes it sound like you're just going to go to war and burn cities down. You can do that, but you ain't going to do it in the first. Yeah, it's not going to be immediate. Like, you've got to, essentially build every aspect. Like, the same thing as Aerobiz Supersonic. You got to build your airport, your airline from the ground up. That is exactly what you do with your civilization.
You start out with a settler and a shit town.
And then you've got to decide, are we working on weapons, militias, capitals, food, roads, and so it's. I'm not gonna say your typical sim game, but it's your sim game with a twist.
Yep.
So I guess that's really about as much as we can say, because, like I say, everybody's probably played a Civ game of some sort. It's really hard to explain it if you haven't.
Yeah, if you've never dabbled in this game at all, then us trying to explain it, you're just going to go, what?
Of which I'm not an expert Civ player or a fan of that series even. Now, we were talking about like XCOM, I could probably go more in depth. So trying to explain a game if you've never played it before by somebody who's definitely not an expert at this game, that just is clear as mud, I guess.
Yeah. And like I said, with this here, it was entertaining. If you want, we can go right into the make it and break it.
Okay, well, let's jump into makes. I was gonna say I've got some makes here. I feel like, do you want to go first? I've got one that I feel like probably needs to be the first thing said.
Go for it.
The thing that makes it is it's a classic. It's Civilization.
Yep.
I've got in here that I'd venture to say that if any gamer has played, if you are a gamer, you've probably at one point, even if you didn't like it, played one version of this game through the years.
You've had to play something by Sid Meier.
Well, and even I've got in here that I think you've probably played a Civ game. Even like kids now, you get on freaking Xbox Game Pass, there's a Civ game on there, I'm sure. Tropico looks a lot like Civ, just like the cover arts. It reminds me a lot of that. It has a familiar feel to it, even if you haven't played it. But I also have here, if you're going to play a sim game, Sid Meier's probably the game you want to play of some sort. Now, like I say, Civ's a little different. So maybe if you played Civ and that was the first game by Sid Meier you ever played, you might not play another Sid Meier, and that would be unfortunate, just because Civ is a little bit different.
It is, and that leads it to one of my make-its. Is one of the reasons why I love Sid Meier Civilization games is it is a strategy-based game, but also at the same time, there's certain aspects to it that you're like, hey, like World of Wonders. I don't know how far you got into this.
I did not get far. I will not be a proud man to say that I got deep into my Civilization.
See, I got deep in.
Okay.
And my cities each, I think I had 3 out of the 7 wonders of the world at the time. I had the Great Wall of China, I had the Pyramids of Giza, and I think I had the Colosseum built in my areas.
Okay.
But those could take anywhere between 80 turns to 200 plus turns per city. So during that time frame, that means that's only what that city is focused on. So you're losing more militia, you're losing workers, you're losing road production, you're losing whatever you want. But at the same time, at the end of the game, you get points for having those, and those are worth a ton of points. And so,
well, I'm going to put down in here as I'm not going to say, and I'll refer to myself as an infant Civilization, just because it wasn't one of the big sim games that I played, especially not even the Sid Meier games that I played. I was kind of shocked. It wasn't great, but I do have it in the make it. I wasn't ready for a cutscene.
Oh no! Yeah, it was not on.
Okay, so the game starts up and they give you it gives you this freaking, I'm guessing,
deity.
Yes, but I feel like in 1990 nothing, that was probably like for a damn 11-year-old boy. You're probably like, look, boobs, and it did not show bare boobs, but it showed enough that it probably tipped the scale there. So they did put a little bit of a story to it. That was cool. I was not expecting a cutscene, even when it was like just settling in and all that. And it wasn't great.
No.
It was like, I don't know, today's standard is like watching the Oregon Trail, like on 3.5-inch floppies or whatever. But I did like that.
The cutscene was entertaining. It was funny. Because, like I said, in all the other Sid Meier games, you don't get that.
And one thing in here, this was actually a pretty big one, is, one thing that is probably detrimental to the sim games that we're playing on the Super Nintendo for the essential challenge that we're doing is it's a sim game. There's 6,000 freaking buttons.
Yeah.
Not having an instruction book nor taking the time to read one if I had one.
Yeah.
It makes it tough. Because back in the day, when you go rent a damn game, sometimes they had the book or not. Yeah. If you lost the book, they said they charge you $3 or some shit. I don't think they ever charged it. No. But sometimes you just got it, you didn't have a damn instruction book. There wasn't no internet. Nope. You might be able to go to damn Walmart to find the trades. I don't even know if we had a Walmart at that time. It might have been just the damn supermarket like Ingles. But there was a little tutorial into this game.
There was.
That was more than what a lot of the sim games do. So I did appreciate that it was trying to help a savage like me navigate through this game. I will say that I did think, and I've not really got a lot of subtle. Like the ones that I like is pretty
up there.
Pretty up there. Like one thing with the Sid Meier game is it's super well thought out. There's a lot of effort. And even those, and it might not even be Sid Meier. It might be Microprose and Koei or whatever, because Aerobiz Supersonic had a lot of freaking data.
They did.
There's a lot of data in this as well. But I do feel like this one takes it one step, because you're like, oh, that's clever when you see your cities getting built and you see like the wonders of the world. But I feel like it's still clever enough that there's certain things that you take for granted nowadays. And you're like, man, this on the Super Nintendo, and I do have on here, pretty impressive for the Super Nintendo to pull this game off.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is I think this was very impressive with even the Super Nintendo. Even though there's a few things in the break it, but overall, like I said, there was a lot, and with me being a Sid Meier person, I don't know if there's a name for us, but like I sort of knew what I was doing due to the later games. So I think that helped me out a lot, because one of the first things that I done is I made, I think, 5 militia right out the gate.
Right.
And started exploring around me. Kind of find out I was on an island I was on an island, and there was one other country there. So I immediately killed them and took over their place. So I had this entire continent to myself and ended up building it up super fucking quick.
Okay.
With a great wall that protected the entire island. So overall, I said that's one of the things in the Civilization games later on, is if you completely decimate another ruler, whenever everybody has been met, you are classified as a warmonger. And the only way you can beat the game is through war.
Okay.
But if you defeat them before the First World Congress, before everybody's met each other, then they never existed.
It's kind of like going back in time type thing, huh? Okay, I've only got like 2 more things, and they really go hand in hand. Probably my favorite part, and then I'll let you, if you have anything left on your heart with it, is even though there's a structure to the game, there's not any set rules. You can play it any way you want, how you want it, when you want it. I think you probably, if you dig this game, you can play it 100 different times, different ways, different civilizations. If you want to go in there, like you say, and warmonger the hell out of people and see how quick you can just burn through, you can. If you're just like, man, I'm just going to chill back, listen to some Kenny G and drink some rosé or a red wine, you can just chill with it. And that's the one thing I think that makes a lot of the sim games great, is
there's variety.
I feel like you can literally, we can end up at the same spot and take different journeys there. I feel like the only time that you're ever going to burn out of it is if you're just getting tired of the sim game. Now, which I can get, you know, you dump 300 hours, 200 hours on a freaking sim game, you get in it, and then you step away, and I bet you're just addicted to it.
Oh, yeah.
Then you step away for a week because you had to work a lot at work, and then you're just like,
I can't do this.
Look at this time that I have. Or like, oh, I got 20 minutes, let's jump in. Where a week before 20 minutes would be a 2-hour session.
Nothing.
So it's one of those that I think if you burn out on the sim games, that's probably the kiss of death for it. But if you've got time and this is what you enjoy, you can just play it over and over and over. That is the last part that I have on the make it there.
I'm not going to, I mean, yeah, we did draw back to sim-ish games back to back. Not going to lie. That night, I was up till 2 a.m. playing Sid Meier.
I was not. It took me 3 days to pull it up on the, I was cussing. I was just going, fuck. Like, I was like, 2 sim games. But at the same time, I'm not going to pull no punches on Sid Meier because,
what he does good.
Feifel got fucked by damn Mickey and Minnie circus. Did. So the freaking Wheel of SNES, it's brutal. It's brutal. So, do you have anything else left on your heart to make it?
I mean, the main thing is, and the gameplay wise, is there was a lot. We didn't have an instruction manual, but I think if you clicked around and adventure, you could figure it out. Might take a little bit, but you could definitely figure it out versus not knowing how to do something like in the airplane sim.
Right. Yep. I'm bringing it into the fucking break it right now.
Go for it.
This is a big break it for it.
The Oregon Trail scene?
No. It's the second sim game in a fucking row. That is like one of the most detrimental things to this game. And ironically, from the damn developers and publishers as well. I will say you're right, though.
The Oregon Trail scene was the second?
Well, I do feel like trying to figure out how to raise a civilization from basically naked cavemen versus trying to damn start a fucking airplane conglomerate. Probably feel like I may know how to clothe people and give them some damn pointy sticks a little better than somebody to fly. This I had on here. I don't know if it's a make it or break it. But I put it in the break it, but I kind of dig it. Okay. So it's in the middle, but we ain't got a fucking middle. You got to pick one or the other.
It's one or the other. There's no gray zone.
You can really fuck yourself on the start.
Boy, can you?
You're like, hey, you might put yourself somewhere and you're right there on the water and they ain't gonna nobody attack from that corner for a fucking while. Or you'd be like, hey, here is my damn little town. Let me send my little, I don't even know what you call the damn little horsey guys that go out.
Cavalry.
They're just checking shit out. Then you find a fucking.
I think in this one they were called
scouts or something.
No, later on they're called scouts. I think in this they're called militia.
Yeah, so basically you walk out there and then you find a little hut. You're like, what's this? Oh, it's a motherfucker's gonna kill my ass is what it is.
Some bandits.
So, yeah, there's some fuckery in there, which I guess adds to it because, I will say that when I was fucked, I did not get in depth like you at 2 o'clock in the morning. I feel like if I got in there at 2 o'clock in the morning and I realized I fucked up on my initial build, I'd be really mad. I kind of laughed about it. It's like, yeah.
Okay. See, now here's the thing is 2 o'clock in the morning for me, dude, I already had a civilization. I had 6 cities. I had dozens of militia. I had cavalrymen. I had archers. I was getting close to musketeers. So me losing one, nothing to me. No, it's sorry for your sacrifice. Have fun.
Well, all right. Here's something else. And I guess we should have probably put in the make on this, that this game did support the Super Nintendo mouse.
It did.
I've got it in the break it, even though you have the mouse, it's still that grid style. I'm trying to remember what that one game was that we played that was not smooth. It was a grid based. I don't think that
it was Sim Ant.
Was it Sim Ant?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Sim Ant.
So yeah, the Super Nintendo mouse. I did not play it with it. I can go ahead and tell you by playing with the controller, it wouldn't have been good. It would just be like playing with the damn controller.
Yeah, the controller. I mean, the controller worked just as fine.
And I'm probably nitpicky on a game that I guess initially came out in '91. I felt very, very clunky. Which came around to a thing that probably isn't its fault. Is at least, and I don't know, on a PlayStation, a Sega Saturn, on the damn Atari. I bet on the Atari, this was just fucking mind-blowing. On MS-DOS, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But I felt like, just for what we've been playing, even some of the earlier stuff, even some of the Amiga stuff, I didn't think it aged very well as far as the graphics.
No.
I didn't think the controls were really good. I mean, they weren't the worst things I ever played. It's a sim game, but
it's click. It's move and click.
I think a lot of the graphics, like even those cutscenes I wasn't expecting and I could appreciate them, they looked MS-DOS-y. I will say
they
that.
did. I'm with you. I don't think they aged well, and one of my big break-its is the Oregon Trail scene. That irritated me way more than it probably should have. If there was a way to turn off, I guess, repetitive screens.
Yes.
I would have been 100% for it, because like whenever you build the Great Pyramid of Giza or the Great Wall of China, I expect that cutscene because that's one of the marvels of the world.
But when you're building your 12th town, you don't care to see.
I don't care about the setup.
Bringing the damn cows and horses.
Yeah, don't care
about with them.
Yeah, don't care about that.
Well, I guess this brings in, and this is a big one. I think a lot of what I've got left are big ones. At this point, you've got to be, if you're going to go back and play Civilization on the Super Nintendo, you've got to be a massive fucking fan of Civilization.
You have to.
Because I think I've maybe played Civ 3 or 4, and I didn't get into it, but the game is very fluid. I could go ahead and tell you, I think I've seen the gameplay of Civ 5, and it looks really freaking good. Now, really mind you, you're not like platforming or anything. So, but if you go back to play this, like say with the graphics and the stuff, if you in 2024, if you're playing Civ on the Super Nintendo, I'm going to venture to say this is not the first time you've ever played Civilization.
No.
You have played it and you love it and you're going to go back to it and you can probably appreciate it, but you are not going to.
The only way that you would be going back and playing this game is if you're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, it's that, or if you just found a game at a junk store and you wanted to put it in, or you're a fucking Civilization super fan.
Yep.
Now, I can understand, like, Final Fantasy 1, not great compared to the Final Fantasies that I like. I do remember playing it. I love it. But going back and playing Final Fantasy 1, I could see a lot of people saying, hey, you got to be a damn Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah. It was hard. It was a rough one.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with this. You just have to be... I'm fucked up enough to know that if I was a Civilization fan like I am my Final Fantasy and a lot of the other games, I would definitely buy this game. And I would
100%.
play the fuck out of it. Yeah. I would make myself.
You'd have to.
Another thing, I didn't really like... I'm a turn-based guy. Now, I play games that aren't turn-based, but I appreciate a good turn-based game. I think a lot of this goes back to playing the Final Fantasies.
Keyword. Good.
Yes. I did not like the turn-based in this game.
No, this turn-based wasn't all that splendid.
And to be honest, it's probably just not my genre of game because, aerospace, supersonic, it was... I didn't care for the turn-based on it as well. I'm not against simultaneous turn-based games, but I just didn't... I don't know. It didn't do nothing for me.
I think on your end is... What I'm hearing and what I'm taking from this is that you're not a Civ person.
I'm not a Civ person.
But see, to me, I love Civ, so I like the whole turn-based. I'm fine with this slower-based turn-based stuff, but this one here didn't do it good. But again, this was the first.
Right.
So I give them credit. They tried something, they done it, and then from here on out, look, they improved on it. So they took what they fucked up, and they improved it.
All right. Here's a break it for me.
Okay.
I'm hitting the big ones. And this is just me with my experience of sim games. Whether it be, especially Sid Meier's, but any game. I feel, I'm going to blanket it, and I could be wrong, but I feel pretty confident that the higher majority are than aren't. I do think sim games are fun. And I do think that I could become a Civilization fan. Like, I think I could really get into it to where I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning playing this damn game. But the problem is, for me, I feel like you typically got to dump so much time in to get it. And I would just think a minimum on a sim game. Because you're learning it. You're probably going to restart it a few times. For me to get, like, my mindset into what I'm doing and really start digging it, I probably got to force myself. And there's games that I hate to start, but I love as it progresses. So I feel like with sim game, I've got to dump like 2 hours uninterrupted with nobody bother me, no phone, no text, and to get into the flow of the game. And my problem now is I typically don't have 2 hours uninterrupted to devote to it because, like say, would you fire up your sim and play 15 minutes?
No.
Yeah.
You can't.
So, like,
15 minutes may be a turn.
So I feel like in the way they get me, and when I say I dump in 2 hours uninterrupted, it's like, man, these dudes ain't got no damn underwear on. Let me give them some pointy sticks. Oh, shit. Oh, well, I got to build some damn roads. I'm going to build some roads, and then I'm going to go to bed. Okay, oh, shit. Well, I can build another damn city right here, or I can upgrade this, and then it's just like, oh, man, I'm like one level away from getting a new building, or a new education, a new freaking, I don't know what you call
Wonders.
it. Yes. So, to me, I don't know that I played, I can't tell you the last time I played a sim game for 2 hours uninterrupted on any of them. Yeah. But I feel like that is a drawback with a game like this. It's like, if you do not have the time, a horrible game, I feel like, to rent. If we would have got this back in the day. I mean, you would have had the 2 hours to do, but like if you're renting it and it's just you, that's probably okay. You're renting it because your friends are over, probably a horrible game.
Yeah, horrible idea. Horrible idea.
And then I'm gonna put this one out there, and this is all I got on Break It, and I feel like you're gonna agree, and I don't know that anybody can argue it. I love my Super Nintendo to death. Sim games belong on a fucking PC.
I agree 100%. Nowadays, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say you can get away with it. Maybe even PS4 up.
Yeah.
But as far, I couldn't even imagine though, and I've not played SimCity in forever. I couldn't imagine.
SimCity was a good one.
I remember playing that on Windows 3.1 like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I don't know that I could play it on PS3. Like, I mean, PS3 would have might have been okay. I feel like PS5 and these super consoles, Xbox Ones that play a freaking sim game kind of blows your mind. But something just doesn't feel right without a computer mouse, with you hunched over with your Mountain Dew Code Red and your cheesy poofs or your beer or whatever. But, like, I feel like the sim games for me is like,
They were made on desktop.
When I was working damn night shift and you got a night off and you didn't have no girlfriend and nobody wants to hang out on a fucking Tuesday and you're like, shit, can I watch a movie? Yeah, I'll probably play a little bit of Sid Meier shit for a minute, and then next thing you know, the sun comes up and you're like, oh damn, you know. But those memories for me are all on a PC, and I don't think a console does it justice.
No, it doesn't.
Even though the Super Nintendo did a pretty good job, I feel like. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it done good. And I'm with you on that, but the way I look at it too is they also took what they messed up and improved on it throughout the years. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm going to defend Sid Meier just a little bit. I do think that if you played the new Civ games, especially 5, I think you would get a kick out of 5 if you could invest the time in.
Right. And it is like I mentioned earlier, like Tropico is kind of
4-2.
wild.
4-2 was a good one.
I don't have the time to get into Tropico, and it does seem cool. It seems like this with a twist. And
I add it in my library at any moment.
I've got it downloaded. I played it for 5 minutes. And I was like, I just ain't got time for this shit. And that's where I've been at with it. So it's not necessarily a problem with the game, probably just a problem with me.
But now also, to throw this out here for our single viewer, you love the Jurassic Evolution game too. The one where you built your own Jurassic Park?
Well,
it's different.
Yeah, I guess it is technically a sim game.
But that just goes to show that you're not some uncultured swine.
Yeah, and
you do play some form of...
And that game is pretty fucked up because you're having to do goddamn different islands. It was set up poorly too.
It was a terrible game.
I was just damn entertained. I remember coming and showing you videos of the goats getting eaten or the shit getting loose, and that part was entertaining. I think I just powered through it because I like fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I've got sim games in my blood, and I like Sid Meier.
Yeah.
Civilization's just never been a game for me. I've been thinking for 10 years about Sid Meier's golf. Because I remember you could make a golf course. You could actually play the fucking golf course. Pirates, I got Pirates up here somewhere. And
I'll say, Sid Meier's golf was fun. I did like it. I did enjoy Pirates too. I played a lot of the Sid
Meier's Pirates.
I see it. You do have it in box.
And I just remember playing it. And I don't think it was nothing that was mind-blowing
Dear
for me.
Jesus, that instruction manual.
Oh, yeah. And I think at that time, it's a damn...
It's a wire,
notebook.
yeah.
That isn't even the freaking map, though, bro.
No, you got the map still?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, this manual...
How do you think I do shit around here?
That's true. This manual is 140 pages.
And and I guess it kind of goes into the break it part nowadays, too. Like we were talking about something I forgot on Aerospace Supersonic is like... Hey, there is a lot of fucking data in these games, and I appreciate everything that they put out there. But you know what? In my fucking job, I deal with a lot of fucking data, too.
Yeah.
And it feels a lot like fucking work.
Yeah, it's work.
So sometimes not having to analyze numbers and analysis and stuff, I'm okay with not having to do that. And I think for me, that may be something that's broke sim games for me, at least of this style or Aerospace Supersonic. But
I mean, I can't fault you for that. I really can't.
So that's all I've got that breaks it for me, Josh. Do you have anything on your heart that you want to throw in there?
Like I said, my only other break it is, granted, I know it was on the Nintendo, the SNES. Sid Meier games should never be played on that type of console. Like they really shouldn't.
I think that's one thing, whether you love this game or you hate this game, that you can get behind.
Yeah.
United. I mean, it's ambitious.
It is. And I appreciate what they've done.
And the stuff that, like the Jurassic Park Evolution, it probably wouldn't exist without these on them consoles. But, that was tough.
Yeah, like I said, playing it on this, like I said, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it. Like I said, I invested fucking time into it because I went down the rabbit hole that's in my brain. But I do think that certain games are meant for certain consoles. And this one's, or platforms, and this one's just a PC platform.
So, as we wrap up the break it, Josh, I did not want to go too deep into fun facts with Civilization because it's just going to get crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's because I'm trying to find Civilization fun facts for Super Nintendo, and sometimes it's fun, like movie fun facts on the game. It was too taxing for me, to be quite honest. So
I'm about to say, if you got any fun facts, I would honestly be surprised.
I don't. I was like, I lost interest in it pretty quick. So I've got price charting and speed runs.
Okay.
So I guess we're just going to jump into some speed runs.
Yeah, I'm terrified. Because I got at least 5 hours invested already. And I don't think I'm anywhere close.
I'm going to have to pull this up because I know you're going to ask me a question. So on Conquest, I guess we forgot to mention there was a couple different game modes.
There's also different difficulties. But that's classic to Civ. Like I said, if you're a Civ game, then you already know that there's Conquest. I can't remember the other ones.
Space Race, I think.
Yeah, Space Race, but
Time,
and then also you have difficulty from 1 to 10, which I think 1 is like Caveman, 10 is like Emperor or Warmonger or something along those lines. I think it changes depending on the game. I played it. I will say this: I did play it on Chieftain, which I think is level 4 or 5, like right in the middle. Normal is where I went.
Okay, so I gotta work my way down from most impressive, or from the least impressive to most impressive.
Okay.
Which, because I know you're gonna ask me the details on the most impressive one. On the timed, there is only one speed run that's been turned in, and this person is on 2 of the speed runs.
Okay, so he's a Civ fan.
Well, yeah, because like I said, I don't feel that you're playing this game.
Or he's addicted to speedrunning.
So the rules for the timed is beat the game via time victory. When you click X, then it starts, blah, blah, blah. Any difficulty is allowed. Loading is allowed. Time, however, must be continuous.
Okay.
So only one person has completed it. And I'm just going to tell you because it's going to get crazy.
Oh, yeah. I've got I don't even know how you... I mean,
it's Nihilist, Nihilist Comedy Hour.
Okay.
They've been active actually today, but 6 years ago they did it on time, and they did it in 3 hours and 14 minutes 29 seconds. So there's that.
Okay.
So then you got the Space Race one. Well, I take that back. Nihilist isn't all of them. In the Space Race one, third place is by a guy Buffalax. I feel like it's Buffalax, but it's Buffalax.
Yeah.
I guess Buffalax. They completed in 6 hours 58 minutes. Nihilist Comedy Hour did it in 3 hours 49 minutes 46 seconds. And Random _ Encounter did it in 1 hour 6 minutes and 14 seconds.
And that's the Space Race, right?
Yep. Conquest is pretty fucking impressive.
But they do. Conquest is all about murder.
There's 2 people from Quebec that...
Lay Hulk? Is Lay Hulk back?
No, I think Lay Hulk was French or German. I can't remember.
They speak French in...
There's not an American in this. Nihilist is in 4th place.
Okay.
With 1 hour, 36 minutes, 38 seconds. Do you want to take a guess at what the fastest speed run is?
God, I would say 36 minutes.
Okay, we got a Brazilian. R. Tavares. I feel like we've dealt with R. Tavares 6 years ago.
Sounds familiar.
Did it 52 minutes, 33 seconds.
Okay.
King Troll TV. King Troll TV from Quebec. Did it 2 months ago. 2nd place.
Okay.
32 seconds.
32 seconds?
I don't know how the fuck you do that.
How?
I don't know, but you can pull it up. We can literally watch it right here.
Okay, now hang on. This is Conquest, right?
Yes.
So this is all about war.
Yeah, you've had to just...
So my assumption is that they have it turned on to where it's only you and one other person.
And you probably, depends on where the spawns and where
And the spawns have to be side by side.
Well,
have to be.
JOSNIB from
Josie?
Quebec, Josnib. He did it in 28 seconds.
Yeah, so that means the spawn has to be perfect side by side. And at that point, it's just about whoever can smash that X button and hit Warrior first, and then just going over and taking over the town. Has to be. That's the only way that's possible.
So, That's the speed runs. Just a few things before we get into, I guess we'll just jump on into price charting.
That's quick.
That is. Are you going to go home and spend hours trying to get it?
No, because, I mean, that's all luck of the draw on, because these maps are fucking huge. Like I said, you just have to be sitting there constantly going back, just constant.
All right. A loose copy of this, Josh. How much you think it runs?
With it being on all those different platforms and Sid Meier being such a big name, I'm going to say $25.
You're low.
I'm low? I sort of figured. All right, then I'm going to go 40.
Close enough. What I seen on eBay, there's a few above, few below. I averaged it at 40. Price charting says the loose price is $38.99. So
okay,
I give price charting the benefit of the doubt. What do you think a complete one is? I had about a $13 difference from. I didn't have a whole lot of complete ones sold, so I definitely trust price charting. But
yeah,
what do you think one of them run?
123.
A little high, a little high.
A little high?
I'd say you're high. Just high.
Then I'd say 80.
Well, I guess I should have said a little high. Might have been.
Let's say that now, a little high, my guess would have been 100.
Okay, if you were a little high.
A little high? Okay.
Price charting has it $99.99.
Okay.
I think I seen one complete on eBay for $86, but it was coming out of Germany, so there was like a $50 fucking on top of it shipping, which I don't understand because I guess it's different country to country. I know I can ship out anywhere in the world for it charges the buyer like $36, so Germany may have different tariffs or some shit.
Yeah, some different law.
A lot of these sales were that was from Germany. The new ones that I seen that have not sold, because I did not see a sold one on eBay, but a lot of them were coming out like fucking Italy and shit. Like there was a lot of overseas.
Really?
Yeah. So that, not that it's really too uncommon to see a few, but like
what
especially even
all?
There's a lot of damn graded ones out of Italy.
Damn.
Like, so there were several graded ones.
Is Sid Meier Italian?
I don't know. Maybe the Italians just like fucking sim games. I don't know. And they're drinking that red wine and
just sitting there hammering out the hours.
So, what do you think a new one runs?
A new one? I'm going to go out and say 250.
You're pretty well on it. According to price charting, it says $255.84. I seen one that was not graded that was like $800 or best offer. So I seen plenty that were graded for $500.
Yeah.
The graded price on here says $274, but it didn't look like there was a whole lot of new ones out there. So I guess it's going to influence the market regardless. But at the end of the day, we're just going to round it up from $38.99 to $40. You can have a copy of this game for $20, Josh. What are you taking?
I may actually take the card on this.
I would not pay $20 for this fucking game. That's just me.
Yeah, I'd take the card on this one.
Well, I don't know what to tell you on that, Josh.
Well, I'm a Sid Meier fan. So, I mean, that's where it boils down to, is I'm a Sid Meier fan.
All right. Well, you do you. I'll sell you this car. If I had 3 copies, I'd sell you 2 of them for $20 immediately.
I don't need 2. I need 1.
I don't know if $10 would probably be about as much as I'd want to spend on it, and I would have to be pretty close to completion, and I'm not. To me, it's $5 game. I get $10.
Yeah.
I could do it. If $5, if it had a really good label, looked really clean, like it was never played, like somebody bought it and hated it, I'd probably pay $10 for it to be really clean. So, coming in here to rank these mofos. So let me make sure I got them right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Josh?
We're going to be vastly different on this.
I don't know. I do appreciate the game for what it is. So I'm just going to run your 1 through 9 down here.
Okay.
And then I'll flip the laptop over and you can insert where you want, or you can tell me. Finishing up the season. Feel like it's probably the worst season that we've had.
It's been a slumper, that's for sure.
At number 1 through 9, you got Gods, Aerobiz, Supersonic. Sorry. American Gladiators at number 3. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. The Jetsons. Capcom Soccer Shootout. Head-On Soccer. Sequest. And Super Valis 4 at number 9. Do you know, or I can go first as well, do you know where you're going to put Civilization at?
I do. I know exactly where I'm going to put it.
Okay. Where on your heart are you going to put Civilization?
It's going number 2. No debating. It's number 2.
Civilization.
Just because.
Number 1 is number 2.
Yeah. Because God still had granted, Civilization is a replayability if you're that deep into it. And I played a lot of the other Civilization games, a lot of other Sid Meier games. This was their first one on the SNES. If this was done on PC, and I played it on PC, it outranked Gods. But since I'm doing this based on Super Nintendo,
I do agree. If this was played on PC, even an old PC with the old PC feel, it would rank higher.
It would rank it'd be number 1. But with the way the Gods is played on the Super Nintendo, I think Gods just eats out Civilization.
Okay, so I've got Gods at number 1, Aerobiz Supersonic, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Gladiators, Jetsons, Capcom Soccer Shootout, Super Valis 4, Head-On Soccer, and Sequest.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, I know exactly where Civilization's going as well, and I'm giving it the tip of the hat. I'm putting Civilization as number 2 as well.
Wow, really?
I'm not a fan of it, but I think that's a testament to how bad this game was. Or how bad this season as far as the games we played were.
True.
So even though Aerobiz Supersonic, this is the way I look at it. Is it sim games? Probably I could get in Civilization. If I had to play it for 5 hours, I would enjoy Civilization more than Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. Gladiators ain't got the replayability. Everything after that really wasn't too fun.
See, I thought you were going to put it at number 3 and just barely give it out to Power Rangers.
Well, and I thought about it, but I got Aerobiz over Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and one of my knocks on Civilization is I think the new Civilizations are better.
They're 1,000 times better.
But should I punish Civilization because it was successful? I mean, I ain't ever heard of Aerobiz Supersonic before we played it. So apparently Civilization was better than it. I think it had a better tutorial in there. I think it was a little more dumbed down as far as the controls.
Yeah.
And no offense to Aerobiz Supersonic. Like I say, I don't know shit about running a fucking airplane.
Yeah, no.
I don't know shit about a Civilization. But I know that if these motherfuckers are coming out here with goddamn torches and pitchforks, I want to stay away from these fuckers. You know?
or kill them.
Yeah. You take your pitchforks and torches and go tear their shit up. So I did think Civilization was better than Aerobiz. Like I say, not by a whole lot. I do agree Gods is better.
And like I said, and it's only because of it being played on the SNES.
So, one thing I do have marked down here, if I can find out where I put it, is, I don't know, I guess we should come in, I'm a little late, I've skipped over a section of the reception of this game. Electronic Gaming Monthly, pretty damn reputable.
Forgot about that.
They gave the Super Nintendo a 7.2 out of 10, deeming it a different type of game, and it was more geared towards strategy. They gave the Genesis version a 6.6. And they mentioned that Koei, however you say their name, managed to make a unique strategy game while also being entertaining. I believe that.
Yeah.
Next Generation gave the Genesis version of the game 3 out of 5. Said sim fans would be pleased with the level of detail. And Video Game selected as runner-up 1994's Best Strategy Game Award, which was won by Equinox. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I'm reading the damn last month's. That's no wonder I can't find it. That was Aerobiz Supersonic. Scratch that. I had the wrong fucking page.
About to say, how does Civ lose?
Well, it said 94. Fuck.
On a strategy.
Well, I had some damn notes here that I was going to mention before we left, and I'm like, fuck. How did I miss that? Oh, it's because I was pulling up last week's ranking on the page. So, here is what I was going to say. Is the first thing is, how in the hell was there a Civilization game on the Super Nintendo? And I feel like nobody knows about it. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to say nobody, but
it's hard.
A game that got this fucking big.
Yeah.
That would be like saying, oh, I didn't know Mega Man. And I guess that's probably not fair. That's apples and oranges. But, like, I just can't believe that when you start talking about sim games, people are going to mention Sim City, Sim Ant, Sim Earth, even a lot of people
Gary's
like
Kitchen, Battle Tanks.
Yeah, and then it's just like Civilization, like a fucking juggernaut of sim game.
Yeah.
That I would have never believed it. If you told me it was on there, I'd be like, no.
No. Again, my thought process would be, oh, that was on MC-DOS, or Macintosh, or whatever other PC variants were out there. And you come in here and say, no, this was on the SNES. You're out of your fucking mind.
It blows my mind. It really does.
Yeah.
Another thing I got wrote down here, and this might just be my own personal thoughts, is I remember loving fucking sim games. I played the shit out of them. Man, and I always played them on a PC. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, because that Aerobiz Supersonic kind of made me feel like it. And I know that's not for everybody, because, a lot of people hang their hat. But for me personally, I think sim games kind of lost their luster as I've got older.
Yeah, they have.
Because I'm just damn processing data at your job nonstop.
Unless you're talking about the actual Sims where you're a family.
I couldn't get into it.
Dude, that shit still kicks off.
I know there was people leaving their damn families over. That was like the World of Warcraft for middle-aged men and women there. But
build the perfect family and leave your family for them.
Yes. But I literally, when I worked at Walmart in high school or after I graduated, a woman just stopped working. She was a fucking bitch too. Like, just a straight up wretched. And one day she didn't show up to work, and it was a guy that she had met off the Sims online. She left her fucking husband, kids, all that shit. Just like fucking up and gone one day.
Now she's probably dead in a ditch somewhere.
I don't know. I bet she probably came back home because she's a fucking bitch, is what she was. Like, of course, I was a damn 18-year-old and didn't know shit either. So she might have been pleasant, but
to you,
my memory was a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
But
to you, she wasn't.
So I don't know. That's where I'm at with it. So wrapping up the season. I feel like the guys up on Mount Rushmore are probably going to be pretty safe when we dump this in with the other 30-odd games.
Yeah.
50, 40-odd games, whatever it is. So we got 2 soccer games pretty much back-to-back, Josh, and then we got 2 Micro Pros Koei sim games back-to-back. Do you want to make a prediction on how we're going to start out?
Regardless, it'll be number
5.
1. Regardless, it'll be number 1.
I'm going to make a prediction that the game that we play will be better than every game we played in Season 4. The first game of Season 5 will be better than any game we played in Season 4.
See, mine, I was going to go big. The number 1 game we play will be number 1 next season.
I think God's, was that our number 1 on this one?
I think so. I can't remember.
Hang on, let me flip to the other page. Let me make sure I jump back over afterwards. God, Civilization, Aerospace.
I think God's was.
I think God's was. I'm feeling pretty confident on that.
But yeah, I think we're going to follow that trend.
All right. Well,
and that the number 1 game will be number 1.
Well, I guess we won't know until we do the second game. if you're right or wrong. But I hope to God that if you would have told me Gods was the number one and that was what we draw, I would be like, no, there's going to be a better game. But it definitely had a down tick.
Yeah, 41 was Gods.
All right, so I guess we got things to do. We've got to play
something.
We've got to play the first game of season 5. And then we are going to obviously have our
ranking episode.
Wrap up of season 4 ranking episode, and we're going to end up having 50 games ranked out of 700-ish. So I guess we're going to leave it at that, and I guess we'll see you next week.
See ya.
2 weeks. I guess we get the wrap up next week, and then in 2 weeks you get the game. Something like that. We'll still be posting.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
See ya.